to go right now, and about 3 or 4 more miles. Actually, about one more mile, I guess. Coming into Lordsburg on I-10, heading west, going to Phoenix, going to Heights, Arizona, Phoenix, and I haven't live streamed for a few days, have I? Yeah, because I was home. Took a few days off from everything. Just went home and vegetated. Watched TV. Did nothing. Just vegetated. Hot. I guess that's the news of the day right now. From what I gather, I haven't looked at regular news, I guess, but for all I know, something major happened in the world and I don't even know about it. But the news for the country, anyway, I think, is hot. Everywhere's going to be hot. Where can you go to escape the heat? So it's actually going to be hotter in Kansas than it's going to be down here in Phoenix. Think about that. We're about the same, I guess. But the Phoenix area is just going to be in the lower desert of Arizona, whereas we got to move over. Big truck coming on. Watch out for that car. Bring the big truck back over. And we're going about a scale right now. Oh, the scale's locked up. Good deal. Scale is closed. But I guess the heat's going to be everywhere. We're going to have hot heat everywhere in the country, I guess. Arizona's going to get up. Phoenix is going to get up around a little over 100, 105, something like that. And I was talking to Kirk yesterday, and I guess it's supposed to be like 102 up here today in Kansas, western Kansas. That's going to be all over the Midwest. The whole central part of the country there is going to be hotter, Nick. Up into Nebraska and Oklahoma, over into Missouri a little bit. We're close to Denver. Denver's going to be real hot. Now, as soon as you get west of Denver, you get up in the mountains, it cools off quite a bit. But yeah, it's going to be hot. All that heat's pushing up through the center part of the country. And I'm getting into it. There we are. Oh, I know what I forgot. You guys probably can't hear me. So let's do this. Got this thing. There. Why is it muted? Go. Can you hear me better now? I turn this around, put it inside my pocket. Oh. I forgot all about this thing. There we go. All right. We're back. Oh, actually, I don't want that one. All right. I got the decibel gain different on this one. This is as I put them in the thing here. This is 1. And this is the receiver in the center, and then this is number 2. On number 1, I've got the not the decibel, the gain. I got the gain turned up a little bit, and it's almost peaking when I'm talking. It sounds like it's peaking. I'm going to take this one back off, put it back in here. I'm going to get this one out. Alright. Get back here. Okay, now that one's got a little bit less of the less gain, and I'm not peaking as much. I think this one sounds a little bit better. It doesn't sound, it's not quite so strong and, you know, blowing the speaker out kind of thing. So, we're all good here, I think. Let's see here. Sounds better. Yep, there you go. Good deal. Good morning, Dad. All right. So anyway, we just went through Lordsburg. We're just coming out of town now, rolling the hill, and it's hot. It's hot everywhere. It just seems like it's everywhere you go. It's hot, hot, hot. And all right. So what was I talking about? The temperature around the country. It's going to get hot everywhere. Anyway, I was talking to Kirk, and he's not encouraged. You know, so just they haven't had a lot of rain up there. The wheat crop is not looking good. He said it's going to take a lot just to make the wheat crop good again. So he's not expecting a very high producing crop this year. And he says, yeah, it gets really hot on Monday. It's just the last thing that wheat needs right now is 100 degrees. It's just basically going to cook it out in the field, and it won't let it the individual berries, you know, while it's on plant and everything, the wheat kernel is called a berry, okay? And while it's on, right about this time is when it needs a little bit of rain and some cool mornings and stuff like that to really plump those up and produce better, you know. And he says, but as of right now, the seeds aren't there, the berries aren't there. Your typical head of wheat might have, you know, 30 berries or something on a good year, and they only have like 15 or 20 this year. Just the head's smaller. It didn't produce as many berries. And then now the berries, it's too late on that. That was decided months and months ago by the crop. By the plant decided months and months ago whether to put a lot of berries on or not. And it's because it didn't get a rain at the right time. It didn't get berries put on. Therefore, is there any chat? Why is it my chat not staying up? I mean, it's going, but it keeps. It just keeps fading out. I don't know why. The timer on the chat slows way down. Whatever. There we go. So anyway, it's how is it? The wheat actually gets planted last fall. It's winter wheat. It gets planted last fall and it grows up. It kind of looks like grass because that's what wheat is. It's a grass, and it looks like a big lush green lawn in the wintertime, in the fall, and then it goes dormant and it lays there all winter long. And then comes springtime, when the weather turns, it's already got a plant there, it's already got roots, everything's already done, and it takes off and starts growing again. Okay, just like your lawn does. Okay, same thing your lawn does, and it starts growing again. Well, depending on how much rain it gets throughout the spring, determines how many berries get put on each head. Okay, and they didn't get a lot of rain this year. They've got some, but it just didn't come at the right time for wheat. Okay, and anyway, they just didn't put that many berries on. And now that those berries are on there and need to plump up and become, you know, full and ripe and whatever, it's 100 degrees out today, and he says it's just the last thing that crop needed. So, but he was, you know, on the other side, he says the fall plants are looking good. So the fall plants, the corn and the milo, he said throughout this week, he says we probably won't do anything on Monday because it's just going to be so hot. Take the day off. But on Tuesday, Wednesday, it'll instead of being 104, 103, it'll be, you know, mid 90s. And but he says if we just plant throughout this week, we should get the rest of the milo in, and then that's done. The planting will be done for the year. Okay, so your fall crops will all be in. Okay, so depending on how much rain and the weather and all that throughout the summer, depends on how good the fall crops are. So all the corn and the corn and the sunflowers and the what's the others, the soybeans, those are all been planted, and they're all planting and growing good. And he puts most of that on irrigated soil, with sprinklers, and puts some corn on what they call dry land corn. It doesn't do near as good without the rain though. So, but a lot of his dry land, that's where he puts the wheat. So yeah. Anyway, so we talked a little bit about that, and his wife just got back. She goes to Florida every year, early June, late July, or late May. Late May, she takes off and goes down to Florida, hangs out there for 2 or 3 weeks, and then brings the grandkids back. She brings her grandkids back from Florida, back to Kansas for harvest. So they'll be around throughout the summer, or for a few weeks, I guess, during wheat harvest. And then they turn around and head back home down to Florida. Okay. Well, I probably won't be up there for wheat harvest this year because of the wheat, the weather and everything. And why won't that stay up? Oh, I don't know what's going on here. The on the screen, right in this area of the screen, I get my readout of the scroll. You're looking on your phone, you have a window over here of the video, and then off to the right you'll have the scroll. Okay, mine is on the screen itself, showing the whole width of the screen on my phone. Okay, and then the scroll comes up kind of right over the top of the left side of the screen here. And if you don't get any comments for a while, it fades away. Well, it's fading away way too soon. I mean, right now I don't see any of them. Okay, I touch the screen, there they are. I may stay up for a little while, but within let's see here. Okay, touch. Okay, 1001, 1002, 1003. In about 10 seconds, they've faded away now. So there's nothing on the screen. And the new comments that pop up should be coming up and populating that side of the screen. I don't know. There it is. There's one. I don't know. I don't know. Except sometimes, I guess. So, it's computer. This phone, their computer. And YouTube's it's a website, basically. And sometimes they have hiccups. I don't know. Everything else seems to be working fine. See there, those new ones are coming up. So I don't know. They're coming up now the way they're supposed to. Don't know. Don't know. So anyway, 11 more miles to the Arizona line. Then we pop up over the hill, and we're at the Arizona line, and we go about another 15 miles to get to San Simon. San Simon is where the port of entry is at, Scale. We'll go across them, and then work our way over to Phoenix. Now, I'm not going to run you all the way to Phoenix today. Before this video, I was trying to think, what can I talk about? What would anybody want to talk about today? And the only thing I could come up with was the heat. Let me look real quick. On oh. there's anything on Yahoo News. See what the world's talking about. What? Mass shootings in 7 cities left at least 5 people dead and 27 injured. So they're going to be pushing this. Any other day, any other part of the week, any other time they would have a bunch of shootings around the country. I mean, it's a big country. Got a lot of people here. Okay, 300. I keep saying 330, but there's probably more like 360 million. 360 million people. There's going to be bad people involved with that, and there's going to be shootings of different types. Okay, and now that they had that Uvalde deal down there, and they've got an administration in there that wants to push this stuff, all the news medias are going to really start pushing all these. Somebody slapped somebody the other day. We need to get rid of guns. What? So it's just. So there's going to be a big push on this for, again, like every 5 or 10 years or whatever, every 7 or 8 years, they have a huge push trying to, we need to do something about gun violence. We need to outlaw guns. We need to get rid of guns. You know, and people just, it isn't the gun. It's the person. It's the bad people, not the gun. Whether there was if guns weren't even invented, there'd still be people killing people. Simple as that. It's just humanity. Okay? So they're going to be pushing this, and that's all you're going to hear for a while. Is just, we need to get rid of guns. We need to get rid of guns. Whatever. 5 people dead, 27 injured in mass shootings. Okay. In 7 cities. Okay. That's just normal weekend. That's just a normal weekend. And it's always been that way. But they're pushing it now. So, hey, every time we get a chance to point out that somebody died because of a gun, you see how they manipulate you? What else are they talking about? Hate crime problem. Proud Boys stormed children's event. Wonder what that's about. Hate crime probe after group disrupts drag queen story hour. So they're going to have the drag queens going over in front of all the kids and doing story time with the drag queens. See how they push it? They just won't let people live. They just keep pushing it and pushing it. So then a group called Proud Boys, they show up, and they want to put a stop to that, because they look at it like, hey, you're indoctrinating our kids. Quit it. You know, you're trying to make our kids think that, you know, it's all okay to be a drag queen. Hey. So when they show up, when the Proud Boys show up and try to put a stop to this, they're a hate group now. Okay. I don't know a whole lot about the Proud Boys. I'm kind of wonder, maybe they're not that bad. It's just the way that, there we go. Testing in progress. What the heck is that? International Cybernetics. There's a van just passed me. Got some kind of rack on the roof. Got some, I think they're testing a self-driving car type stuff. I think that's what they're doing. I can't catch up to him. He's going way too fast. I mean, I could. I just don't want to. So, but anyway. I don't know. It's just the way the news media reports stuff. You know, I don't have time to read the whole article and everything. It was just the headlines. But there you got some just regular people that say, hey, we don't want drag queens going out and trying to indoctrinate our children into that lifestyle. So, hey, you need to put a stop to this. And nobody will stop it. So they get together and they go, hey, let's go down there and talk to people. You know, let's do something about this. And the media twists it around and makes the Proud Boys the bad guys. The Proud Boys are trying to protect the kids. So I think that's what's going on. I don't know. I haven't read the article. But it just... Yeah. This world is so upside down nowadays. And what do? How do you straighten it out? I don't know. We're going over this little mound right here. You go up over this little mound, and that's Arizona down there. We're still in New Mexico. We're about 300 or 400, I think. We'll come down this hill. We'll go across the state line. Okay, yeah, there's the 3 mile marker. So we got 3 more miles to the state line. We go up as we're coming down this big gentle slope. As we come down this big gentle scale house. Port of entry. Straddle this, kind of bumpy little road right there. So yeah, it's funny how the media twists things around and can make things look a certain way, just the way they report it, you know. And I knew that happened. I didn't realize how bad it happened until I was up there in Hagerstown and had a couple reporters come in and report, you know, do a report with me, interviewed me, and then I went back and read the article. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. They twist your words around and make it look terrible, you know. And I don't know. I don't understand it. Don't understand why people want to be that way. But the media, they've been doing it for years. Everybody kind of knows they do it, but it doesn't really sink in. It doesn't really hit home until they do it to you. You know, and no, I'm not a member of the Proud Boys or anything like that. I didn't even know who the Proud Boys were until I got, went back into the convoy and kind of find out Santa's a Proud Boy. I'm like, what the hell's that? So, and I don't know. Oh. As far as what's going on up there, I have no idea. I haven't been following it. I really don't know what's going on with the 1776 movement. I don't know if it's doing good, doing bad, if it's just stagnant, just doing the same. You know, still got the same 30 people, or they got, you know, it's growing, or what. I don't really know what's going on with that. Been preoccupied with my life right now, so. Oh yeah. Pam's got her problems with her air conditioner. Her air conditioner's not working properly, and she's been sitting there trying to figure that out. So I got home Thursday night. Yeah, I got home Thursday night. Stayed all day Friday, all day Saturday at home. I should have left Saturday. That's the name of this title, is running late. I should have left and come out and then delivered first thing Monday morning out here. But I don't know. I just couldn't get motivated. I said, heck with it. I'll stay home Saturday and leave Sunday. I'll get out there and I'll still deliver Monday. It just won't be bright and early in the morning. It'll be about noon Arizona time. So, and they weren't going to do anything with this thing anyway. Delivered at 7 a.m. The trailer will probably just sit there all afternoon. They'd do something with it on Tuesday. You know, deliver it and tear it down and whatever. So, So anyway, I decided to stay home all day Saturday. Well, Saturday evening, the air conditioner starts messing up, and quit working. And she just replaced the air conditioner unit up in the attic. She just replaced that about last winter, I guess, about 6 months ago, something like that. And she just replaced that, but the outside, was it the condenser outside? And it's not an air conditioner, it's a heat pump. It's a heat pump system. So anyway, it's outside. It's not new. They looked at it and said there was nothing wrong with it, so they just replaced the insert, the upstairs in the attic, and went with that. Anyway, so yesterday, Saturday night, Eric, does it feel warm in here to you? Fluctuations as much as she does. She's more sensitive to it than I am. And so we got to look around. Yeah, it's not blowing cold. The fan's still blowing, it's just not blowing cold. So she turned it off, thinking, well, maybe it just froze up or something. So turned it off for about a half hour. Went to turn it back on, and the thermostat said battery's low. Battery's low. I didn't know there was batteries in the thermostat. It was hot wired into the house. And she popped the thing off, and sure enough, it takes a couple AA batteries. Okay. Put new batteries in it, reset everything, put it back in, and turned the air conditioner on, and it started working. Started blowing cold again. All right, very good. Problem solved. A couple AA batteries. Well, I left Saturday or Sunday morning, woke up, and it was nice and cool inside the house and everything. Got up and I left probably about 8 o'clock, I guess, something like that. I left about 8 o'clock, got out of the shop, got in the truck and started rolling about 8:30. Last night I get a text from her. Air conditioner is hot. Air conditioner's been out all day. So something's going wrong with it. Don't know what, don't know why. Something's going wrong with it. So I imagine she probably took today, or working from home today, so she can have a tech come out and look at it. So you don't want to go without an air conditioner in the summer when it's this hot. Which comes to my whole point is why live where it's hot. That's why I want to go do the RV thing, go travel around the country and stay wherever it's 70 degrees. It gets down to about 55 at night, wake up in the morning, and during the day it gets up about 70, 75 during the day. And just follow that weather, wherever that weather's at. Like right now, if I was to follow that weather, if I had my, let's see here. If I wasn't driving right now, trying to make a living, let's see, temperature, I'll be up in the northwest, nice and cool all over the northwest. Yeah, the whole northwest is nice and cool. Probably because it's raining up there. Let me see, probably, yep, mostly because it's raining up there. But yeah, northern Nevada, southern Idaho, would be a perfect place to be right now. Blue would be 55 degrees. Well, it'd be chilly up there almost. So yeah, Colorado, all over, just about anywhere in Wyoming, except the far southeast corner of Wyoming, to get a little hot during the day. But yeah, all through central Wyoming and western Wyoming, weather's nice. Colorado, Utah. Utah's nice up around the Salt Lake, but it's raining up there. That's why it's cool, because it's raining. Woo. Getting bumps. All right, we're coming up to the scale here. Start slowing down a little bit. This never works. I don't know why this westbound Simone. See these big panels off to the right? Well, okay, they're working now. Boy, they didn't work for shit 15 years. finally got them working. So I gotta pull off the scale up here. Some of these other trucks are gonna go by because they got pre-pass. But I'm gonna have to go through the scale house. How's this for an off-ramp? Say it's a half mile long, probably 3/4 of a mile long. Seems like it goes on forever. There's a good-looking peak coming by out on the highway still. It's an old 359. No, that's an A model Kenworth. What am I saying? That's an A model Kenworth. That's an old. Oh, that's nice. Real nice. All right, folks. It used to be you pulled up the window and you'd have to hand them paperwork and all that. And they'd actually physically look at your paperwork. And they don't seem to do that so much nowadays. And I don't know why. And I say that and they'll look at mine today. Better know. Shouldn't talk about it. Maybe I'll jinx myself, right? Pulling up to the window. The lady in the window is telling him something. Not sure what. He's got hazmat on. He's got poison of some type. He's looking at something. Might have a brake dragging or something like that. Don't know. So he's going to tell him to pull over and they're going to inspect him. Looks like. All right. I'll explain that in a minute. Let me get through here. Thank you. All right, she's telling him to pull around here. They're going to go on the other side of the building to the inspection bay. That's why I don't want to haul hazmat right there. Perfect example. Okay, see his rear tire, his very back wheel. See how dirty it is? He's got a wheel seal going out. That's a problem. All right. get up to speed here, get back on the road, go through the gears, and I'll explain all that right there. Alright. What happened there is the DOT, they just love to mess with hazmat loads. Okay? If you've got a hazmat load on, they love to mess with you. Okay? Because, I'll get in a 13th gear here. I was only at 12. Hazmat loads. Okay, if I've got furniture on this trailer right now, okay, just somebody's household furniture. Okay, this truck passed me right here, that U.S. Express truck. It might have paper or toilet paper or something like that on there. It might have widgets from a factory. Okay, and if he goes off in a ditch and crashes and lays the thing over, they come out and they pick everything up, tow everything away, and they're done. Okay, well, nobody wants to have the wreck, but it doesn't affect anything. Okay, his widgets, whatever, toilet paper, let's say. Now they've just got a whole bunch of toilet paper laying in the truck. They unload it, set the truck back up on his wheels, and most of that toilet paper gets thrown away because it's been damaged. Okay, or it'll go to charity or something like that. But the truck itself is damaged, either totaled or just go fix it or whatever. But the thing is, it's just isolated. That truck in the ditch, laid over, done. You pick it all up, you clean everything up, and you're done. Hazmat, on the other hand, let's say it's some oil, some kind of, I don't know, let's just say heating oil. And they crash, like that tanker back here. He crashes, and it spills everywhere. Well, they go out there and they pump the rest of the oil off, and they set the thing back up, take it away. Now on the ground, you got a bunch of contaminated dirt, okay? Because if it's spilled, which it probably does, okay, it's spilled out. Now you got contaminated dirt, you got hazmat cleanup. So now they got to go in there and clean it all up, okay? Let's say it's something worse. That right there was poison, okay? You saw the skull and crossbones. I don't remember the numbers, like 1079 or something like that. You can look that up in your handbook and find out what that is. Your hazmat loads tells you exactly what it is. Let's just say that was chlorine, okay? Chlorine bleach, okay? And it's going to a factory somewhere where they're going to bottle it, okay? Excuse me. So let's say that's just going to go somewhere and they're going to bottle it, okay? If that spills out, chlorine in its pure form like that will, and let's say it's not chlorine bleach, let's just say it's chlorine, okay, and it's going to a place to be put chlorine into some other products to make bleach, okay. All right, so it's just plain chlorine. Chlorine's a gas, and it's a poisonous gas, okay, it'll kill you. All right, I remember up in Tulsa 30 years ago, I remember up in Tulsa they had a chlorine truck spilled, and it crashed and went bang, and they had to, it didn't kill anybody, but they had to evacuate about half of the town because of the fumes and everything. They were worried about it, and some people smelled it. Ooh, well, that's bad. Okay, they didn't die, but I don't know. I don't remember enough. It was been so many years ago. But what I'm getting at is it's a poisoner. It's a hazmat item. So the cops have realized, hey, the carriers that haul that kind of stuff, we keep a laser focus on them. Yeah, that U.S. Express truck just passed me. Yeah, they keep an eye on them, and me, and everybody else. But when it comes to those carriers that are hauling hazmat, they really hold their feet to the fire, okay? So, used to not be that way. 30 years ago, it was just you had a hazmat load, and it was, okay, yeah, just be careful with it. But over the years, they realized, man, we really have to hold their feet to the fire, because one truck crashing is not probably going to hurt anybody. Maybe the driver gets hurt, and that's about it. But, you know, let's say that US Express goes off in a ditch and rolls it over. Maybe he gets hurt, whatever, but it's just some equipment damage and some product damage, and that's about it. Didn't really hurt anybody. Maybe bumped and bruised him, you know, the driver up or something, but that's about it. That chlorine, or a poison gas like that, can go off and crash, and that affects a whole city. Could kill thousands and thousands of people, okay? So they really hold their feet to the fire. Well, I don't know what was in that. I don't know. You can look it up, your hazmat. Go back and watch the video. It has skull and crossbones, which is poison, and then and it could be poison that's going to a rat factory, you know, a rat poison factory or something like that. Who knows? Okay. More than likely it was liquid, because it was in a liquid tanker. Okay. So anyway, what I'm getting at is they really hold their feet to the fire. Now, when I took the off ramp, there was cameras pointing at the truck. I don't know if you've noticed that, but a lot of these scales nowadays have cameras. They're infrared cameras. Okay, and as you go by, if you have a problem with we'll say a wheel seal, that wheel seal doesn't have any oil in it, therefore it runs a lot hotter than if it's lubricated. Okay, so that's one of the things they look for on trucks. When I picked this truck up, it's an older truck. I went and checked. I popped the cap out, looked inside to make sure there's oil in the hubs. Okay, put the cap back on. And you thump the tires, you check the lights and all that kind of stuff. And so I checked all that kind of stuff, especially when you're going to run across country in the middle of summer when it's hot. You know, it's bad enough in the winter, but in the summer when it's 100 degrees outside, things get hot and go bad pretty quick. So especially tires. I mean, I saw so many gators yesterday. You know, blowed out tires. You know, the chunks of rubber left over. They're called gators. Okay. And I saw bunches of them. I see blue lights back here about a half mile. I think they're just the headlights that have that bluish tint to them, you know. I think that's what that is. That's a half mile or better behind me. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just the headlights. So anyway, we got that wheel that on that truck. If you notice, it was darker. In other words, oil has been leaking from the seal. The oil's been leaking, and it got inside the wheel. And just driving down the road in parking lots, whatever, dust gets on that oil, and it starts turning the inside of the wheel dirty and dirty and grimy. And that's one of the things you spot when you have a bad wheel seal. You're like, oh, you know. So you look inside and see, make sure there's still oil in there. If there is, great, you can drive it from point A to point B and get the thing fixed. All right. Well, that's one of the things that DOT looks for. I mean, it's just one of the many, many things they look for. Yeah, it's just headlights. It's one of these cars that has those headlights that has that kind of purplish blue tinge to it. So. Oh, it's a little Mini Cooper. One of the newer Mini Coopers. There you go. So you'd have the DOT looks for all these little things. That's one of the things they look at. Well, if you don't have enough oil in your hub, your hub will run hotter than the other hubs. Okay, so you got 4 hubs back there, four duals. 8 tires on a trailer, and you have this hub oil. Now you don't have that. You have hub oil in your tractor, but that hub oil that's in with the gears, the whole housing is full of oil. Okay, and that oil goes out to the hubs and lubricates those hubs. So you got a lot more volume of oil in your tractor drive axles. But on trailer axles, you just got that one little hub and maybe, I don't know, a half a quart of oil in it, something like that. So anyway, you put that oil in there, and that lubricates the bearings. Okay. Well, if the seal that, it's going to be a rubber seal, just like on just like on this, on here on the inside of that, there's a rubber gasket seal that seals that. Okay. On there they got a O-ring type seal that seals that. Well, that seal goes bad, then oil starts leaking out. And if all the oil leaks out, then there's no oil on the bearings, therefore they run hotter. So as you're driving down the highway, that gets nice and warm and warm and warm. And if you pull off the scale, those TV screens, or the cameras pick that up, and up in the scale, there's somebody should be looking at the TV screen, and it's an infrared camera. And as you drive by, it'll show the heat signature. Okay, you've seen an infrared camera like the military uses. Okay, and as you take that off ramp, you go by there, and this hub, that hub, they're glowing like yellow, maybe a light yellow. Okay, but there's one, and it's orange. It's a kind of a dark orange, or maybe even red. Red would actually be like on fire, but you get the idea. It shows a little brighter color. And as it comes down the ramp, there's other cameras, and they look at it and say, "That's a tanker. What's he got on?" Now, if he'd have had just vegetable oil on or something, or orange juice, something like that, they might have just, "Oh, don't worry about it. It's too hot out there to get out there or whatever." But because they saw hazmat on that truck, let's pull him over and check him out real close. So that's what they were doing. There's a woman in the window. She was checking the paperwork permits. Okay, as I pulled up, she didn't want to look at the paperwork anymore. She just looked at my IFTA sticker, which is that little, it's about a 3-inch by 3-inch plastic sticker on the side of the truck. Shows that you paid your fuel taxes, that you're registered to pay your fuel taxes. All right, and that's all she wanted to see. Okay, but off into the building a little farther is somebody, and he's sitting there watching those TV screens, and he saw that, and he goes, that's why he came out. The lady wasn't in uniform. Okay, she was just a civilian working for the DOT. Okay, but the officer come out. He's an actual inspection officer. He came out and he looked that truck over to see what's going on. He was looking for oil leaking everywhere. More than likely, the oil's been gone for a long time. They've washed the trailer, and it just hasn't. It's really low on oil or something. Therefore, it's running hotter than the other ones. So anyway, they pulled him around. They're going to do an inspection, and they'll probably check everything out on him. Since they got him back there, they'll probably do a full inspection on him. Another reason is they get points. Does that make sense? The officers get points for what they do every day. Okay, and they're expected. Now, the old thing. Do police have quotas, like speeding ticket quotas? And the cops will say no, they don't. I guarantee you, if a cop sits there under a tree all day and doesn't give any tickets, he comes home back to barracks. He comes back to headquarters, and his supervisor, okay, his sergeant or whatever, lieutenant, says, "What'd you do today?" "Oh, everybody was being good. I didn't get any tickets today." "You were just out there sleeping." So they I don't know if they actually have a quota. Well, you have to give 10 tickets today. But if you come back and they only did 1 or 2 tickets, and another cop comes in, he's got 40 tickets. He was out there working. The other one is laying under a shade tree somewhere, taking a nap. So they have quotas or whatever. But when it comes to inspections, there's a point system. I don't know exactly how it works, but if they just check your logbook, let's say that gives them 1 point. Or if they just check your paperwork permits, you pull you in and do what they call a class 1 inspection. It's paperwork only. All right, you're just making sure you got your permits and all that. They'll get maybe 1 point for that. Okay, if they do a walk-around inspection and a paperwork, that's 2 points. Okay, if they do it all over, crawl underneath, check everything, go to the creeper, the whole 9 yards, they might get 5 points. Okay. They end up turning that into the federal government for the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration. And they look at it and they get an idea of the health of the industry, as far as it's like going to the doctor and getting a checkup, checking your heart and your cholesterol and your blood pressure and all that kind of stuff. Okay, the government wants to sit there and take a health report of the overall country, so they sit there and pay attention to that. Well, some states take it more to heart than others. Arizona takes it to heart. They inspect a lot out here in Arizona. It used to be California was a place you didn't want to be, so you don't load up the truck and you don't move to Beverly. But Arizona has really went into overdrive since around the mid 2000s, around 2005, 2008, right along through there. I remember it was during the Obama administration. Obama gave a whole bunch of money to the states for DOT enforcement, okay? And some states used it in different ways, okay? And I don't know if every state got the same dollar amount, or I don't know how all that worked. But some states, they get, let's say they get, $1 billion. I don't know, whatever number. They get a whole bunch of freaking money, $500 million. So get $500 million, and they use that money to build new scales. Their scales are old and worn out and everything. The buildings, they just want something nicer and bigger, inspection bays and all that kind of stuff. So they'll put a bigger set of coops in, chicken coops, okay, scales. So they'll put a bigger inspection barn in, they'll put a bigger building in, better pits so they can get underneath and look in. Instead of crawling on a creeper, you pull the truck over a pit and they get inside and they look, just like a oil inspection pit. So anyway, they'll spend their money on the buildings. New Mexico's one of those that spend it on the buildings, okay? I don't know around the rest of the country, but I know, because back during all that was going on, I was running California to, Dallas to California back and forth. So I'm familiar with New Mexico and Arizona and stuff. California put in a new set of, the scales were there, the parking lot was all there. They just put a newer building in, a newer inspection bays and all that kind of stuff. They were banning. Back here at San Simon, as you saw, that's an old building. That sucker's been there for 50 years. Okay, that's an old building. Nothing was put in new there. Arizona decided to spend that money in a different way. Instead of building a big, huge inspection barn, inspection buildings, they bought a whole bunch of cars, SUVs, and they hired a whole bunch of new troopers. So now, when you're driving down the highway in Arizona and you see a cop, highway patrol, you see a highway patrol and he's wearing kind of a light-colored tan uniform, okay, he is a regular state highway patrol officer. The one you just saw that got out and looked at that black, at the tanker, you notice the uniform he had on? It's almost like a SWAT team. It's all black. You're in Arizona and you picked a black uniform? What's wrong with you guys? Anyway, you're in Arizona, you pick a chrome so their heat reflects. Oh, anyway, so we're all walking around in black uniforms like a SWAT team almost. Okay, who made that decision? I have no idea of it. There you go. There's your government employees at work. Man. So anyway, they walk around in black uniforms now. So if you say a highway patrolman and he has a black uniform on, he's DOT qualified and he's the federal government. And I cop told me this. Now that might have changed over the years. At the time when this would have been probably about 2011, 2012, something like that. I was on my way out to California, coming through Arizona, and a cop pulled me over the side of the highway, just side of the road, give me an inspection. And the lazy bastard never even got out of his car. Never even opened his door. He pulls me over, I get out and I walk around the truck and I go around the passenger side and I walk away to the back. He's out there flirting around, calling in numbers or whatever. And he's around, I walk up to the passenger door, he rolls the window down, he says, a level 1 inspection. Okay. And basically a paperwork inspection. So I went back up, got all my paperwork, come back here, handed it to him. I stood outside in 110 degree heat. He sat in an air-conditioned truck the whole time. Never got out of the truck once. Now, he writes me it was a ticket or a warning. I don't remember. It's been so long ago. I think he gave me a ticket. He gave me a ticket because on the back of the truck is supposed to be that reflective tape, that red and white reflective tape, and a certain amount of it, you know, bumping the docks over the years, some of it had peeled off. Okay, so because some of it peeled off, he says you don't have enough reflective tape on the back here. That would have been 2012. That'd have been around 2009, because I just remember the trailer I had at the time, and that would have been 2009. Because in 2011, in 2010, I bought a brand new trailer and would have had nice reflective tape all over it. But that older trailer I bought might not have had all the tape, and it just gets worn off over time. Okay, and you know, at the truck wash, the power washer hits it and breaks it off or whatever. All right. So anyway, he gives me a ticket. Never even got out of the truck. His pickup or his SUV. Never even got out of it. Well, while I was standing out there at 110 degree heat, he was sitting there explaining to me how much of an elite force he was. And he was telling me about the uniforms. Yeah, we're DOT. We wear the black uniforms. Okay. You're just DOT. You're just DOT qualified versus regular highway patrol qualified. But he just, I don't know, this guy had an attitude. He had it in his head that he was John the Law, you know. Yeah, anyway. So, but yeah, that's how Arizona did. They put their money into vehicles and manpower, whereas a lot of the other states put it into infrastructure, okay? And I don't know how each state got that money, and, you know, because you go to Mississippi, those scales aren't any different than they were years, you know, I don't know. I mean, you go to Alabama, you don't hardly see any DOT in Alabama. I mean, really, you don't hardly ever see DOT. They might put an inspection thing up once in a while, but it's just not high on their priorities. I don't know why. It's not in their budget. I don't know. Arizona, though, boy, they're big time. And now that I've sit there and talked about all this, I'll probably get up over the hill between Tucson and Phoenix. There'll probably be 50 cops. One of them will probably pull me over because I'm jinxing myself by talking about it. So, oh well. But anyway, here's what we're looking at. Just open desert. Not a whole lot of nothing. So we're what, right at an hour now? Oh, I don't know. I still got about 20 miles maybe. No, further than that. Yeah, I still got about 20 or 25 miles before I get to Texas Canyon. Y'all seen it before. I don't know. I suppose I'll just go ahead and cut this off. I don't know. Give you an hour-long show today, I guess. We talked about a few things. You saw the DOT pulling the tanker over. I explained a little bit of that. We talked about what's sort of in the news, I guess. Yeah, Florida's big on DOT too. I don't know how strict they are. I haven't really had much trouble in Florida. Of course, I don't go to Florida very often, but yeah, Florida is. They got a lot of scales. They just got a lot of, because there's so many different ways of getting into Florida and everything. If they just put one Florida there by Pensacola, one scale there by Pensacola, all you got to do is come across to Alabama a little bit and then drop down, and you can run all the way across the state and not have any more scales. So they got like 3 scales across the Panhandle alone. So it just seems like they have a lot of scales around the state, but I don't know. I can't really say that they're any tougher than anywhere else. They're just more buildings, but I've never known Florida to be very, super tough and strict. The way like California or Ohio used to be. Back 30 years ago, Ohio used to be murder up there. I don't know if they are anymore. I haven't had much trouble with Ohio, but Texas is pretty bad nowadays. Texas did about half and half. They put more scales in, but they're not the big super coops. They just put more locations in that they can set portables up and stuff. Texas went real cheap. They bought a little bit of land and put a metal overhang, you know, just a roof with no walls on it, just a roof and inspection barn basically. But it's a real simple one. They didn't spend a lot of money on it, and they put a lot of cops out there. Used to be, you drive all over Texas and they never had any inspections anywhere. And just, I mean, 30 years ago, actually before I started driving over the road, 40 years ago when I was working for Coca-Cola and stuff, I didn't even know what a scale was because they just didn't have them in Texas that I knew of, you know, and at least not where I drove anyway. And so, yeah. But yeah, there's a lot more Texas DOT in Texas now than there used to be. But it's not as bad as like Arizona. Arizona seems to be the one that has the most, they're the most fervent on enforcement nowadays. And you still have, still have California. California really hasn't changed. They haven't got worse, they haven't got better. They're about the same, which is bad. Or good. I mean, you want inspections to make sure the trucks aren't falling apart, but still, you know, to me it's not about safety. It's about revenue enhancement. So many of them, it's just all about revenue enhancement. So, but I don't know. All right. So we're on I-10. We're at the 355 mile marker. Right here is 199 north going up to Safford, Arizona. If you go north up to Safford and keep going north on that 199, you go up through the copper mine. Get back in January and look at that video about the copper mine and check that all out. But this is where you get off to go north to go see that. Other than that, it's just open kind of desert. There's nothing. Texas Canyon coming up here in another 10, 15, 20 minutes. But other than that, not a whole lot of nothing to literally look at here. Just open desert. Just boring driving. So, wish I had some beautiful mountains to show you. But that's where we're at today. So, I think I'm going to go ahead and cut it off. Let y'all do your talk. I'll go ahead and cut it off and going into Phoenix. And when I called dispatch this morning, they said I'll be the third truck out there. There'll be two other trucks plus me. So whenever we get unloaded, I might be in Phoenix for a while. I don't know. We'll see. We get to we might be out there a day or two, or might get reloaded this afternoon. You just never know. But I'm not the only truck out here. We got two other trucks out here. They'll probably get unloaded before I do. I won't get unloaded till after lunch, or drop this trailer anyway, empty. And so I don't know. We'll just play it by ear, see what happens. I guess we'll find out more tomorrow, I guess. So I'll turn you around here and say a good proper goodbye. And Wizzy's talking about Texas convoy. What Texas convoy? I don't know. I haven't been following any of that stuff. I really haven't. Stan, supper on me if you're in the valley. Okay. I get so many people offering, hey, come by and buy you dinner and all that. And I appreciate it, folks. I really do. I mean, and I wish I could. I wish I could stop and just. I got this little thing called a logbook. It just seems like I'm always. My world revolves around that damn logbook, you know. And I would love to. Somebody's in. Let's say I'm driving along through Little Rock, and somebody says, hey. Stop by Little Rock and I'll take you to dinner. We got a real good restaurant over here. Okay. Well, if I do, all right. First of all, I got to coordinate it all. Call the people, talk to them. Where are you going to be? When are you going to be there? Okay, whatever. I got to, I'll be there later on. And it's a lot of work to do that. Another thing is I'm giving my phone number out to 1 million people, and I really don't care to do that. Okay. But, it turns into like I could pull into a truck stop, grab fuel, walk into an Arby's or something like that, grab a sandwich, get back in the truck, and be rolling 20 minutes later. take 10 more minutes, make a half-hour break, you know, whatever. But I can be rolling within a half hour, get fuel, get something to eat, and be rolling, okay? So that I can get to the next joint or next location in time for me to do my log. Everything revolves around that logbook. I mean, everything revolves around that stupid logbook. So if I do that a half hour out of the day, everything's good. But if I say, hey, I'd like to meet you, I still got to stop and get that fuel, but then I leave and I drive across town. Got to find some place to park. I show up, they're not there yet. I wait around for 15 minutes. They finally show up. I'm just hypothetical here. Then we sit and talk for 10 minutes. Okay, well, where do you want to go? Oh, we run over to this restaurant. We sit and we sit there. It takes an hour and a half. Okay, then we get done. Telemarketer. Then we get done and driving back to the truck and want to sit and talk. And you got to remember, this person wants to meet me, I guess, and they want to talk, and I'm a talker. I'll talk right back with them, and next thing you know, I've burnt 2.5, 3 hours. And if I did that all the time, you see, it just, I try not to do it a whole lot, okay? Not that I don't like you guys or nothing like that. It's a timing issue, okay? It's just a timing issue. So, and it all revolves around that logbook. Now, like I said, I get here to Phoenix and I'm stuck around there for 2 or 3 days waiting for a load, which who knows? I mean, I might get loaded this afternoon. I have no idea. You know, just because there's 3 trucks, there might be 5 loads out here. Might be 3 trucks and 0 loads, and it takes, you know, till Thursday before I get back out of here. I hope not. I sure hope not. But anyway, we'll just see how that all goes. Okay, here's another highway patrol here. Let me show you. Arizona Highway Patrol used to be white cars. Now they're silver and black. And for the longest time, the silver and black ones were the DOT cops. And he just turned his lights off, and I think he's starting to roll. You can't see him anymore. He's still sitting on his shoulder. Looks like he started to roll and then maybe decided not to. I don't know. But anyway, they used to have white highway patrol cars, and now they have like a silvery gray with a black stripe, or a real dark, a light gray and a dark gray. And I always thought those were the DOT cars, but I haven't seen the white cars hardly at all anymore. So maybe they're all going to that same color. I don't know, that same color scheme. It was a great. I got to go watch that, North Star. Somebody said you had a good interview with me, so I don't know. Well, I'll have to go back. I don't know what her channel is, so maybe I'll look that up. North Star, send me an email or a text message. Send me a text message. Tell me what your YouTube channel is, so I can watch that video, watch that interview. So, but anyway, so y'all be good. We'll be hollering at you tomorrow, probably. Give you an idea where we're headed. Well, maybe this afternoon, I don't know, but more than likely tomorrow. Good chance we'll be sitting around tomorrow waiting on a load. So I don't know. I'll probably give that generator a good workout tonight. So trying to stay cool. So y'all be good. Take care, and I work for the DOT. There you go. There you go. Thank you there. I work for the DOT. The silver and black are state troopers, while they do DOT and DPS work. The white ones, the white and blue SUVs, are straight DPS. Yes. All right. Now that's what. Let me just real quick on that. What that cop, when he pulled me over and gave me that ticket years ago. Okay. He said if they're wearing a black uniform, that might have changed. I don't know. But if they're wearing a black uniform, they're being paid by the federal government. Their paycheck is being paid by the federal government. The highway patrol, I mean, see, the Arizona bought the cars, and the money that the feds are paying Arizona is what the money they use to pay for the black uniform cops. The white uniform cops are being paid by Arizona taxpayers, okay? The way I understand it. And it seems like there's a whole lot more of the dark gray and silver with the black uniform cops than there are the white ones. So, hey, if you can get somebody else to pay your bills, let's do it, I guess. I don't know. So anyway, that's the way I understood it. All right, good enough. I'm rambling on here. Y'all be good, take care, and we will see you probably tomorrow, okay? And hopefully we'll get a load. Hopefully we'll have something to talk about tomorrow. So, y'all be good, take care, and ciao.